Hello Formula 1 fans, so this is my first model of a Williams F1 car, but the Williams team was quite dominating in the 1990s. So what we're looking at is a model made by a company called Aoshima, which I guess they still make some models like the Grosjean collection, but I'm not sure if they make other regular style cars. I'm not sure. But here's the card that came with this. It was just bought loose. I don't have a box or anything like that. Here are the various colorways. It's really just the driver numbers. We have number 0 here, Damon Hill, and then Alain Prost here. He won the championship back in '93, and then Renault won the manufacturers championship in this same year here. So I guess this is from the Monaco GP. So it's a relatively prestigious race, a pretty cool racetrack. Okay, so Aoshima, they have a slightly wider blister than Kyosho's. The base I think is wider as well, but yeah, I'm not sure. It looks an awful lot like a Kyosho, so I almost think like Kyosho may have made this model for Aoshima. Okay, well anyways, let's get off the stand here. So, oh boy, that thing is really tight. So some statistics here I found. You know, I've known about the Renault Williams team, but I didn't really know much about the car or the stats behind it. And it turns out this is actually a very historic F1 car. This is considered, at least by whoever writes the articles on Wikipedia, this is considered to be the most sophisticated F1 car of all time. So this thing was packed with so much technology that most of it got banned the next year. So this list of technology would include an active suspension system, you know, ride height adjustable, anti-lock brakes, traction control, a telemetry system, drive-by-wire controls, pneumatic engine valve springs, power steering, well, I guess that's alright, semi-automatic transmission or fully automatic transmission, and then they're also testing out continuously variable transmissions that also got banned in 1994, the next season. So there's the one great thing about this thing, which I guess you can see on some YouTube videos, is there's a push-to-pass system. So the driver would push a button on the car, and then the rear of the car with this active suspension would actually lower, eliminating the drag on the rear of the engine, and then it would raise the suspension so there's less suction on the ground, I guess. And then it would rev the engine an extra 300 RPM. So less drag and more engine power gave it like a push to pass, almost like a turbo boost button. So I believe you can see some pass attempts by this car on racing videos. Okay, so that's what I found out. There is a V10 engine here in the back, of course, making around 760 to 780 horsepower, which was around 80 to 100 more horsepower than the Ford V8s powering Benetton and McLaren. So, although I do have to say Ayrton Senna came in second place this year, and he was, you know, had a deficit of 80 to 100 horsepower in his McLaren, so that's pretty impressive. Okay, Damon Hill came in third place, by the way, and then the first place car was the number 2 of this vehicle, and Alain Prost was the driver of that car, so he won the championship that year. Okay, so look at this. I think you can kind of already tell there's a whole lot of paint bubbling going on. This is really, really ugly, which is a shame. Those Aoshima Grosjean cars, I think, are probably the nicest percentage-wise of all my old diecasts. Most of those have really nice paint in their old models. Maybe like 3 of them might have paint problems out of like say 25 or 30 of them. So they have the best ratio. I think at the end of the year, guys, I'm going to put a little brand ranking, you know, based on paint quality and details and all that stuff, because I should have a good indication of all the different brands by the end of the year. Okay, but yeah, obviously this Aoshima is atypical of what I'm used to seeing. It's pretty much a disaster. There's bubbling going on everywhere. Unfortunately, I don't think there was a year written on the card as far as when this model was made, you know, and Aoshima doesn't write the year the mold was cast, so that's too bad. Alright, well anyways, I guess we'll start here on the bottom. Plastic base, riveted together. Pretty nice little vertical strakes here. The tires, you know, they're rubbery. And then it's nice to see this printing, and then this curvature to the sidewalls. The wheels are blah, I guess. They're not super crisply detailed. But, oh, this is nice. Unlike Kyosho's, there's no exposed axles. I have a bunch of Kyosho and Daido F1 cars, and all of them have the steel axle showing through like a Hot Wheels. So this one is better. This is really nice, actually. That's a nice plus. So unexpected plus there. Actual realistic looking wheel with no steel axle showing through. Okay. You know, the rubber does look like it's getting old, though. This could be a really old model. I don't know when it came out. Carbon fiber printing here. Is it a decal? I'm not sure. Maybe it is, but it still looks nice. Alright, the graphics look okay. The printing, though, on the body does look like it's all tampo printing. I don't see any of that, like, clear decal stuff going on. But I might be mistaken. I'm wrong a lot here, so... yeah, well, actually, this does look like a decal. You know, you can see the black here, and then you can see that little bit of clear wrinkliness that comes on the decal. So maybe these are all decals, or at least half of them are. So those might crack off. I don't see any decal cracking yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. Boy, this side is just... This looks like it has some serious health issues. Like, it's so ugly, I don't really want to touch it. I feel like I'm going to get, like, some sort of disease touching this car. Okay, anyways, Sega. That's how old this car was in history, you know, 1993. Sega video games, if you guys don't know. You know, Sega was a competitor to the Nintendo. I had the Sega Genesis, I think. It was an alright console. And this is Sonic the Hedgehog. I think they still make Sonic video games. Okay, so you'll notice this wing is quite unique. You know, it's got a front wing in front of that wing, so like double the downforce. It's really interesting. If we look at it from there, they're still letting air pass through here. It's just strange. I've never seen an F1 wing like that. You know, coming forward like that. I'm used to seeing like a wing down here. It still actually has a wing here too, so it's really got 3 rear wings. So that's interesting that would have been legal by the FIA. I did find pictures of this car, though, without that forward wing, so maybe that was banned as well. Okay, yeah, thick tires. Oh, this is interesting. I'm now noticing the Goodyear printing is actually printed on both sides of the tire, inside and out. So that's pretty cool. You could flip the tire around if one of them is really messed up on the outside. Okay, well, there's not too much else to say because it seems like Aoshima also censors cigarette branding. There's supposed to be a big camel and camel text here for the Camel cigarettes sponsorship. There's also supposed to be camel right here, so it's just missing from here. So that's too bad. It's weird. I really wish they would just make an accurate model. Forget the kids. Kids can go to like a drugstore and they can see cigarettes being sold there, or a supermarket. I don't know, it's just weird. Okay, so black interior here, not much of an interior, but the little molding here of the safety harness. And then I think this is still a time when steering wheels... No, maybe that's not a round steering wheel. I think the bottom is a flat. Yeah, so now we're starting to get into the D-shaped steering wheels in 1993. They're not perfectly round anymore. Okay, so I guess that's it for this view. Let me pop it up on Mr. Spins, and if you want, you can pause it again and decide for yourself if it looks like that car. It does look like it to me. You know, there's some yellow in the wheels that's not on this model, but I imagine this model was probably like $5 when it was sold brand new. Definitely less than $10, so I think it's a pretty good deal. If it didn't have the blistering, though. If it had nice paint, it'd be really awesome. But this is my first F1 car by Aoshima. Maybe I'll pick up some more if they come up online. I do have, for comparison, though, this Ferrari by Kyosho. It's from the 1992 season, so this is 1 year behind this Williams car. And this model came out in 2004. So you'll see, though, on the Kyosho it's got these steel axles showing through, which I'm not a fan of. But the wheels themselves do look to have more crisp details. You know, There's sharper edges, much thinner spokes. The tires are just as nice. The graphics, seems like half of them are tampo printed, half are decals on Kyosho F1 cars. All of these are, nope, see, this is all a decal. You can see the clear there. But on the casting itself, I think, no, I can see clear here in the body panel gap. So yeah, similar scenario. Seems to be decals on this Kyosho. This might have been a Daido as well. It could have been a Daido kit, but it's made by Kyosho. And then red cars are always susceptible to paint rash. This one's not as bad as the Williams, but it's there. So this one is not 20 years old or anything like that, but it's pretty close. I'm gonna guess these must have been maybe made around the same time as far as the models go. The scale models go, not the actual real cars. Anyways, so yeah, a year apart. They're still somewhat similar looking. They have these really tall covers for the engine, and the helmet would be down here. So it's kind of like it's a roll bar and it's an intake system for the engine. So, okay, I guess that's it. Alright guys, well thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next F1 review.